Hi, chat. I hope everybody's okay. I only forgot to plug in my hands. My bad. Actually, I did forget to plug in my hands. It's fine. Hi, chat. Why? I love that it's not working. Hi, chat. How is everybody? I'm playing DVD today. I don't know why my computer's lagging. It's fine though. Hi, Carp. Hi, Zoa. Hi, Anxious. Hope you are all well. Fades away. Deal with the pain. Please don't find a match while I'm doing this. Thank you. How could they deal with the... No, my Shayla! Well, I feel a bit neutral. Maybe the best way to describe it. Yeah, that's real. That's fair. I understand that. That's unfortunate. Really. Let's search the skies for a while. You and I. Not the first I know. Hi, Ben. Triple one reason. Hey. Oh my gosh. How you doing? For a while, you and I. Oh. Oh. Shit. Sorry? Oh. I just need to clean it to a converter and then we can throw it on. Hello? What the fuck? I don't know what's going on. My PC just fucking... Oh. Meow. Alright, I'm back. Let's see.
Felix?
Anxious. Did being a fucker, it's okay. Sorry, I was eating. Okay. I love that there's not a door anywhere near there. There's gonna be one right here. Ha! Okay. Howdy. Oh, hi. How's it going? Oh. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. What the heck? That was funny. Hi, Nomi. How you doing? Okay, that's two. There's one on that door. We'll go do that. Boo! Ah! Hey, Ash. Yeah, come here. Hi, Laura. Oh shit. Come. What the fuck? Oh! So close. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We don't talk about it. How you doing? Sorute right now. Why? What's that? What's up? Guys, like KFC. I was craving KFC. Even though I've had KFC for like the last week. Just trying to draw and I can't. No, I'm sorry. Runes. Well, I'm done. I mean, could be. Which one of you mother truckers? Oh my god. You little shits. Oh god, they're like, they're working on gens. Holy shit. Come out, come out. Oh my god. Come back here, please. Wait, no. Hold on. What the f- Where is everybody? Guys. Everything's fine. Everything is A-okay. Felix, if you get to my fucking KFC, I'm gonna actually put you up for adoption. No. No! I bet he can fucking smell it. I'm gonna put the KFC up on my... It's on my lap. Oh, come on, that was so close. I want KFC. Bestie, I'd buy you KFC. I fell for it. Oh no. Is this the, that's the Lara? I'm not going for you again. Hold on. Hi, Halsey. Oh my god. So you're the one with blast mine, huh? Oh, she's outside. Give me one moment, though. Nice. Good job. Howdy, chat. Okay, we don't talk about how I told her, but alright. Where are we at?
Huh?
Huh? Hi, chat. How you doing? Oh wait, hi, Halsey. Snitch on this hoe right now, chat. Hey. Why? What? What's going on? Come back. Oh my god, Felix! Oh my god. Yoink. I'm gonna throw you. No, I can't throw you on there. That's fine. Hi, Dwight. You know I can remote hook. Oh wait, no man, I can't remote hook. That's fine. I thought I could. Not the glitch trap. It's my favorite skin. My bad. My bad. My bad. And I don't like any of his other skins, so that better not be the main. That better not be main. Thank you. Alright. I love you, Halsey. Hope you're well. Oh, we don't talk about that. Oh, we don't talk about that either. Okay. Come here. Come here. Whoa! You beat me! Okay. Do I get date everything? It might be fun. Roar! Was that good, chat? Was that good? Was that a good roar? White man jump scare? Oh! I swear, if that little piece of bamboo wasn't there. Was that a roar, Izzy? I was white man jump scaring. Come here. Good job. I like how my, thing. Oh my god, chat! Chat! I gotta say something. Today, or wait, or maybe it was yesterday. I got stuck in between a wall and a pallet. I threw down. I put down a pallet, and I got stuck in between the pallet, and I was stuck there. All right, I do. I want to hear that. Sandwich, yeah, for real. Oh my god, we don't have to talk about that with. I know, Felix, you can smell the fucking KFC, but you're not getting any, it's mine. Oh, okay. Alright. Did you get me popcorn chicken? Of course I did. Of course. Manage you slushy. Ooh. Yes. When you guys were younger, did you ever look at Springtrap fan art and just suddenly think that he's very attractive? What? What? Ash? Ash? What did I just read? For a lot of characters, yes, but not Springtrap. Okay, we don't talk about that one. Come here. Good job. Izzy, the way you felt about Ash in the comment is the way I felt about your. If you're going to your. Okay, okay. Why? Oh, everybody's dead. Chat, I looked down. I looked down at chat and everybody was dead. What the fuck? Also, oh my god, my phone. I didn't even realize. I just absolutely fucked everybody over. Game and rain. Yeah. Apparently. Excuse me, Felix. If they're going to your own OC. Hey, okay. That was the initial question. Okay, that's the question that I should have asked when I asked that, Nick. Is have you ever gone to your own OC? Okay. Alright, okay, alright. Actually, no, that wasn't the question. It was like the own art thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Maybe it was. Maybe it was OC that I meant. I don't know. Anyways. Hi, chat. Let me catch up real quick. Can't even play games with my sister's installing Ape. Ew. I uninstalled Apex. I dropped like 150 bucks on that game, and I was like, nah, I'm good. So I just uninstalled. Out of yourself, it was, yeah, out of your own OC. You can find enemies a lot. Yeah, art block sucks. You still haven't played a DVD? Play DVD with me. Jesus, keep up. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Okay. What is that emote? Oh my god. Publish your phrase for the sake of context. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. I'm very out of contextable. That's not. That was terrible. That was terrible. Oh my god. And that wasn't even that long ago, okay? Like, that was the start of the year. My bad. You ever go into the bike range on Overwatch and... What? What the fuck? Ash, I'm concerned. How's everybody been chat? God forbid a girl want to be a gooner. That's what I'm always saying. Everybody gets up at me for doing it. Like, my bad. Get down. Felix. Get down. My cat's trying to eat my cows here. No, thank you. Damn. Oh, Jesus, chat. Do you think I'm gonna get bullied? Nick is the hater? Exactly. I'm gonna throw it there. I'm running out of Bucky things to read on Tumblr. Oh my god. What piercing should I get? I wanna get one this weekend. Ooh. I'm not sure. Which ones are you thinking about getting? God, give me a second. Oh my god! Felix! My cat is actively trying to kill me. Not this map! No. Oh, not this map! Fuck my life, man. Fuck this stupid map. Ugh! Okay, fine. Everything's fine. All the homies hate this map. I'm just saying. Wieners 57. Holy fucking shit! I forgot I upped the amount on that. What? No shot. I don't want to talk about it. I actually don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Sleep on it? Oh my god, Chad. Calm down. We don't talk about. We don't talk about. What the fuck? Okay, fine. Would not let me face the other way. Oh my lord. Hi guys, how we doing? Did we just go in this door? We didn't. Are you serious? That's how that's how we do it, okay? Oh my god. I'm crying. Pissing and shitting right now, chat. How did I get that? What the fuck? Holy shit. I don't know how I got any of that, chat. That was crazy. I still haven't got an invite. Oh, there's an invite right there. Hi. Taking Gooning to a whole new level with level 71 inches. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. They got my blood favor? Oh my god. We don't talk about it. Nice, okay, good job, good job, good job. Damn, they're stolen every pallet under the sun. Right into the tree, I'm a fucking lumberjack. Oh my god. What are we talking about in chat? Hi there. Do you guys think I'm supposed to drop this? Oh my, what the fuck? Huh? Wait, hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a memento. Oh my lord. Oh my. What is happening? I'm absolutely throwing this game. Holy shit. Do you guys know what it... Oh god. My boyfriend would be nicer to me. I don't know, bestie, I'm sorry. Oh, there's two on hook. Hi there. Okay, hook you. I don't know who still has pain reds, but it's okay. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put Twitch in my name again. Noah Beck 2020? What are we... What is this? Hi. What? Okay. Okay. There's two pallets here? What the fuck? What the fuck? Epic Thirst Trapper? Okay. Calm down. Oh my god. Ugh. What? Hello? Okay. I have no clue. That's fine. We'll get you guys off because there's two of you guys there. Oh my god, I didn't know there was a pallet there. Right. Actually, I don't know if you're in pain res, but we'll try it. Wow, you guys are fast. Lurking, okay. Did you like what is going on? Do I want to know? What? I don't know. Okay, I don't know why I do that. We don't talk about it, Shan. We don't talk about it. So, okay, so, oh my god. Yeah, good luck, Ash. That was my final Bane Raise. Nice. Okay. Vinny Hacker? Radiant player suddenly becomes a thirst trapper after going on a lose streak? What? What the fuck? What is going on? Gonna have buddies in my eyes, so we'll be looking okay. Thanks for the look, Carp. GG, well played. Looking schemes. Ay, ay, ay. You know you hypnotize me always. Is it not giving me eyes? There we go. I mean, do I keep dumping blood points into Springtrap, or do I put them into my Cheryl? Cause I don't know. I have 4 more DLCs to buy, and Nick Cage. Too broke to afford that. I got. Let me go over to Aldi's real quick to get my daily. My doubloons. Hello there, traveler. Waiting, paralyzed by my own viciously reminding me still. Actually, I should probably dump points into Spring Trap, cause I need more blood cakes for after the event, you know. But my Cheryl though. Oh my god, I don't know. You can see. I didn't know the event had Scourge hooks built in. Oh no, I have my Scourges. I have Pain Res. Yeah, Pain Res. Coffee, Siggy, Coffee, Spoon and Ball. Interesting. You been playing much of the event, Novi? Shit. Oh my god. Ooh, okay. Oh, they all spawned upstairs. Interesting. Interesting. Also, there is like no doors over on that side. Holy shit. Oh, so close. Hi there. One. Oh my god. I'm lagging. What am I doing? Ay, ay, ay. Should I get smiley piercing? Which one's that one? Oh, they know where my things now. Thing is, I'm gonna do it myself. No, no, no. Please don't do it yourself. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was terrible. That was terrible, chat. Oh, okay. You have no other choice. I can sit here with my thing. Okay. The little gum thing, maybe a piercing from Amazon. Oh my god. Bestie. Pro, trust me. Oh my god. We need to talk about it. I believe you. How did that hit me? Oh my god. Oh, get out of here with your flashlight. Oh my god. Oh my god. I really need an invite. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? What is going on? God, I hate this map so goddamn much. Oh my lord. What do you think? Are they here? Sure aren't. There's one there though. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. There's no way you get that. Gold! That's... Nah! Get out of here. What? Come on! Oh my god. What the fuck? I'm doing so bad. God, dude. What the fuck? Where am I going? What the fuck? Oh my lord. Around we go. When do we stop? Nobody knows. Dude, I have no chance. There's like, the gens are so spread out. Their game is. Is that my scourge? It doesn't matter because I don't have a scourge for that guy. Oh my god. Ugh. Whatever. Switch it up. Oh my god. Have I used my scourges? Why? Oh my god. What? Literally how? Did it not hit? Oh my god. Why are they teabagging, man? Bro, get a life. Okay, cool. I won't buy me food. Oh my god. Hi there. Get myself some pissed again. I gotta get triple helix. I'm gonna give you those spider bites, snake bites. Okay. Timeskit Fukushima. Shit sables. Bruh. Get a grip. GG. Alright, I'm gonna run some ads real quick. Why are they so mad? My 15 seconds after breaking a wall. Well, it doesn't help that there's like literally like 2 maps with walls on them. Type yes to affirm. What? Huh? God. What are you buying? What food are you buying? Hit a weapon. Survive with your weapon strength. I can do that. Affirmation. Oh my god. Ancient impacts. Oh my god. I'm just hungry. Oh my lord. Paralyzed by my own will. Viciously reminding me still. I'm the only. I got 2 cakes from that. Okay, I'm gonna get food tomorrow. Maybe if my friends go out with me. Oh. Bestie, come up to the city and I'll hang out with you while I wait for my concert. Because my concert's at 8. So I have time to hang out. Yeah, please get something to eat though. I'm hungry tomorrow. Oh my lord. Be mine. I have waited, paralyzed by my own. Oh fuck. Do you still need the pump on? Ow. Hi Jay. No, I want to eat. Time skip. Oh my god, stop. We're all gonna come with. Okay, what's the chances they're bringing that for gens or is it toolbox? Or is it Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Will it pop? Did it pop? Is that they're either doing a Sabo build or I'm about to get gen rushed at my ass. Oh my god.
Oh.
Hmm? Oh. Do you like that? Do you like that? Oh. Oh, what a map. Okay. Party chest. Wow. What concert are you going to? The Living Tombstone. No! I didn't mean to go actually. I didn't mean to actually go. I didn't mean to actually go. Oh fuck. Wait. I didn't mean to. I was gonna try to leave the door. The Living Tombstone? Yep. You said lucky. I bought the last ticket. And it was a resale ticket. Oh god, why is my model acting up? So I'm very excited. Which one's Shack? I think that one over there. Hi. Well, it doesn't matter because I was trying to find you a chair. What? What? Is why did my controls just all of a sudden give out? What the fuck? Oh, there's a tree there. Of course, there's a tree there. Why, of course. I'm not kidding. I was like literally like pressing W and then it was just like, nope, fuck you. And stopped it. My Scourge for Lara. Alright. Yes. Hold on. Why are you throwing balance? Why are you throwing balance? Okay. Bury me to the sound of crying. I need the one on the hill, which is 5. Fuck. Holy shit. This is the other Lara. Holy shit, what the fuck? I didn't realize they were doing gen so fast. Oh! Chat, did you see that? Awesome! Oh my god, that was insane. That was insane, chat. That was insane, Jarvis. Oh my god. That was crazy. Alright, you're gone shack. Damn, they like really just want gens. Did you just go in the door? No. Oh, fuck my life. John Pineapple, come on, man. Come on, man, don't do this to me. Oh my god, don't do this to me. God, they're already at 2 gens. Oh! Yeah, baby! Oh my god! Oh. Insane. I love hits like that. So satisfying. Alright, I need to go to the hill gen real quick. Real quick. Thank you. They know I'm here. Can I get a grab? What? What the fuck is happening? Oh, crispy. Okay. I don't know if you are at your final. Thank you, Navy. Wig flu. What a great clip name. Oh, if the fucking tree wasn't there, I'm telling you. These damn trees. Damn it. Alright. Fucking hell, holy shit. Alright. All 3 of them are there. I mean, hair. None of them will go on main. As I say that. Oh my god. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, so close. As long as they're injured, I'm fine with that. Does it look like... Yeah. Are we taking to me shack again? Oh my god. What the fuck? Ugh, I need to go. I need to go. Okay, we're at the hill gen still. Fuck, 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 fuck. Go, 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 go. No! God damn it. What? That's not where I wanted to go. Yeah, 2 of them are still injured. Dude, holy shit. Oh my god. Let's go. Don't be a hero, Lara. That's what I thought. I'm home too. Don't do something. No. That's okay. GG's. Good luck next time. Ay, ay, ay. Let me have a look at this clip. I love that it's like 3 FPS. Love, 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 love. It's a bot on your own continuum. Ooh. Big show dog. Do a careful minute. Oh, 200. To lay my anchor in. Be on 'em. Did you see that? Oh. That was insane. I'm still for love to love you, but thinking up. Fallout. You have this locked up. I could get the combination wrong. Oh. I don't know why everything's lagging. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Chat. Bless me. Have you played on the new map? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I think it's too big. Too big. I like it big, but it's too big. Oh, Nick's playing. Wow. Hi, Jay. Wow, my sore is ass. How you doing?
Match found.
Valorant, yes. Valorant. You're welcome to join if you want to, Carp. And I'm still. What the fuck? I don't like the new map either. Yeah, it looks good. It's too big. It's too big.
Fade's wife?
Hi.
You're gonna have to choose Flade. Oh.
Hi. Ugh. On your own continuum. The name is not it, chat. The free show talk to a gavel minimum. I'm back. Welcome back, Anxious.
Look, I'm glad you're all here.
There,
I said it.
burning cathedrals, turning the skies into glass. Chat. Goddamn, streaming takes so much of my PC. When I play this game, it's usually at 400 FPS. But when it's streaming, it's at 170. I mean, it could be VSync. But I don't think I have VSync on. Won't you fall? No, I don't. To a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? From
Now we wait.
reality, rhythm of eternity.
I'm out of here.
I'm betting they're going A. Security
Almost
surround
out.
me like lights in a dance. A word would be
Looks like
nice,
they're on
Reina.
A.
Having their vision.
Oh my god, I'm lagging.
Spike planted. Go, go, go! Blinding crack. Blinding. Good hit.
Save it once.
No, come back and let me shoot you. No.
Fun. Love that. Love that.
Reloading.
Love lagging. Love lagging.
Too slow. Last player standing.
Don't you fall for me. Oh my gosh. Nice try.
Please stay alive.
Won't you
I hate
fall
making new friends.
for me? No, you're fine. You did great.
It happens.
Go, go, go! Gotta go!
From reality. Oh my god. Vex is making out of tricks. Hell yeah.
Go, go, go! Spike down mid.
Coming mid. Why am I lagging?
Alice! Gotta go!
Oh my god. There's one going A-Link. Too late for me
go.
now.
I'm out of here!
Planting A.
I'm out of here!
It's
Spike
not
planted.
acid, no alkaline. Oh, between black and
Last
white.
player
Oh
standing.
my god, bruh.
Irrelevant.
Why am I lagging? Nice try. You tricks of
Once
my
more into battle.
desire.
I'm not tired. Go, go, go!
Hydrate. Oh my god.
I'm out
Talk
of here!
about chemistry, 'cause I'm dying to know.
Launching thorns!
Reloading.
Back up!
Oh.
Gotta go!
I'm sorry.
Pushing
Of the
my feet.
line, caught between black and white, not quite either day. My fucking god.
105 ISO.
Design.
Spike down B.
Enemy B.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah.
On pillar.
Here.
Quite either day
Where'd she
and
go?
night.
She was fucking right there.
She was right here. Where did she go? That's crazy. Not here.
What?
She's going all the way
30
to A,
seconds
is
left.
she? Cheeky little.
Spike planted.
Fuck up. Pardon my French.
I hear a good chamber.
Last player standing.
Good job.
Yeah.
Nice shots.
My ult is ready. No fireworks today, I'm afraid.
Last round.
No, you're
before
okay,
the
Sage.
switch.
It happens.
No sense in saving now.
Shit happens sometimes, and hey,
I know shit. Like last game, I went fucking 0 and 10, I think it was, because we had a stage that read me like 10 times. I mean, obviously not that many, but like, yeah.
Gotta go. Quick feet, quick trigger.
is happening?
Spike down B.
Phoenix
Fight's over.
One enemy
Enemy
remaining.
down. My
Nice,
ultimate is
Sage.
Good job.
Sometimes the old ways are best.
Last player standing.
Tagged.
Last seen hell.
Good shot.
Nice shot.
Switching sides.
Go, go, go! Their phoenix may feel mortal. I shall remind you just how mortal he truly is. I'm watching here.
Neon, I can molly door if you want to push art.
Okay. Brother, my cat, please. Distraction.
I'm watching here.
Even isn't good enough.
Watching here.
I'm
Rip
out
and
of here.
tear. Doors activated.
Go, go, go!
Gotta go.
Reloading.
Our spike's down.
Go, go, go!
Spike down B.
Reloading low.
One on site.
There.
Smart move.
Done.
Gotta go.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta go.
Last hopping club.
I'm out of here.
Last
Oh
player
my
standing.
god, my game.
Clutch.
Henty.
Fight till the end. No matter what.
Oh my. I bombed the bag. I bombed the bag.
I'm out
I
of here.
bombed the bag.
Go, go, go.
I forgot to buy as well.
Headshot.
Fight's on A.
Enemy spotted.
Say she gotta get healed. Oh, you know. Thank you.
My ult's ready.
Reloading.
One coming out spawn now.
Oh, hi. He found me.
Watch out. I'm out of here. Go, go, go.
Good shot.
Weapon here. Reloading. There.
Gotta go. Work good.
Thank you.
One enemy remaining.
There.
30 seconds left.
I'm out of here.
Last
Spike's
player
down.
standing. Spike
Go, go, go.
down B.
I'm out of here. I got spike.
Clutch.
Oh my god. My game's lagging, man. That's whatever.
No, you're all good. It happens.
Look at my ping. Ugh.
Match point.
I demand
God. Yikes, dude. Oh my god.
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
Through the calm, I see. Through the
Go,
storm,
go, go!
I fight.
Vice on A again.
Bad go, go, go!
One backside behind screen.
My ultimate is ready.
One hole.
Take this! I'm out of here! Shortcut!
One enemy remaining.
Good job.
Last is on A care spawn.
I'm crawling back to me, already on the ground.
Go, go, go! Not ready! I'm out of here!
Nicely done.
Hell yeah.
Gotta go!
Good job. Will it delay when you headshot? Yeah, my game's my ping hella ping.
Go, go, go! Gotta go!
Nah, I don't know why.
I'm watching here.
I'm out of here!
As one.
You got this.
Gotta go!
Still inside.
They have help.
I got a spot.
Oh no.
Spike down B.
Got one!
We all died. We just left it up to the plebeians.
Fade's wife, we're counting on you. And plug.
Last
Oh
player
my god.
No,
Spike
plus
down.
we're counting on you now.
Welcome to my world!
I have the spike.
Just
Wait,
go
is there
A.
one that you can just leave. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
just go A.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, it's a bait. It's a setup. They knew. They knew.
Last place. Not ready yet. Good hit.
Fish right.
No.
Defenders win.
I love the way you waited.
I'll drop my Twitch there and they'll come in my chat. I want them to come into my chat. I want them. Bunch of little. I'll have to ban them because they're gonna be like 12. Alright.
Match found.
Hi, Car. Ooh.
Get zapped.
Oh god. You guys can see when my I have my phone.
Papa Dragon and other Papa Dragon, are you both hackers?
Oh. I hydrate. I have been hydrating.
You sure?
Why are you gay?
Why dodge?
That answers my question.
Ay, ay, ay. Chad, I might end after this game. I'm
I know,
not
Sage. Don't hurt myself.
feeling too well.
But it's a gunfight, so no promises. I'm out of here.
The chat appearance? What chat appearance?
Give me some beef.
What is Shitey again? Isn't it just Shorty? Shit? I searched up, I mean, apparently it's slang for shit.
I'm out of here.
Enemy spotted. Enemy in attacker spawn.
Oh, fine as shit?
Spike down A.
I don't know. Take me out to dinner for
69 euro.
Nice.
Wow.
Gotta go. Go, go, go.
I love that 69.
No.
Last player
Go,
standing.
go.
La 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 la. What the?
Reyna, time to hunt.
Oh,
Gotta
God.
go.
What the hell, man? What the hell?
I'm out of here.
Bam, 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 bam. Oh, yeah. One memento. I'm probably gonna die straight away, anyways.
Chamber's going down.
La 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 la.
Bye bye.
What the?
What? I'm out of here. Guard cut.
Above.
My game's lagging.
Enemy
Spotted B. Enemy spotted B.
going A.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
One suppressed.
Kill him. Come on, KO. Come on.
You didn't see that.
One enemy
Imposter
remaining.
kill.
W press it.
Spike planted.
Can't use this yet.
Easy, bruh.
This is our home.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
We are not done.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm okay. Oh,
Go, go, go.
physically. Might have to end after this though. I don't feel too great. So maybe I don't feel physically okay.
Na 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 na.
Kick them out.
na, na,
Don't move visitors. Go, go, go.
What the fuck?
Gotta go.
Holy shit.
I'm out of here.
Can't believe I didn't freaking kill one of them.
Almost out.
Come on, Neon.
Last player
My ult's
standing.
ready.
I'm lagging. Oh my god. I literally am, dude. Look at my ping. Look at my ping.
50?
Look. Do you see?
50?
I'm not delusional, please. Please.
56.
Keep looking at it.
60,
Wait.
52, 65, 54.
Are you looking at the right one? It's like in the low 40s. Did you see it shoot up to 92? No, 99. Did you see it?
What happened?
Nah. You
Why did we die?
Anytime an enemy comes onto my screen, it shoots up to like 150. I'm down there. Stinky? I'm not stinky.
Flashbang.
Go, go, go.
Cover going out.
Somebody wants
You
to.
will not kill my allies. Gotcha.
Spike down A.
Oh my god.
Go, go, go. Shortcut.
Reloading.
Spike planted.
Taken out.
How did you hit that?
One enemy
Go away.
remaining.
Gotta go.
Last player standing.
What the fuck?
Who's next?
Switching sides.
I'm out of here. Go, go, go.
Fuck my life, man.
Gotta go.
I'm not her.
You definitely are her.
안녕하세요.
Yeah.
What's up?
Ni hao ma.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Chamber's
Hello.
going down.
What the? Okay, Siri.
Yes.
Nice try.
Damn.
Spike down B.
Oh my god. Wait, hold on.
Raina with the flash. Raina, go.
Oh, Breno!
Last player standing.
How did she? What the-
Last two on spike.
I think they. Yeah, they TPs now. Oh no. Sage. I thought they would have heard that, but apparently not.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I can't tell if you're like 16 years old or 60 years old with that cough.
I'm out of here.
Smoking 3 packs a
1 year
day.
old.
Gotta go.
I'm sorry, I have to report you to my dad who actually works at Riot. You can't be 1 year old and play this game.
Just for fun.
How old's your dad?
I'm your daddy.
75.
Go, go, go.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
75.
Shutting them down.
How old
I'm
are
out of
you?
here.
One suppressed. Shadows.
Wait, what?
Spike's down.
Rah!
Spike down A.
What'd you say?
Player
What'd you ask?
standing.
How old did he have you? What is happening?
My dad actually would have been 75 this year, and I'm 19.
Shadows traveling.
Damn, he actually pretty old.
Yeah.
Um,
Jeez.
Bruh.
Defenders win.
Bro, oh my
Bruh.
god.
did you not see the
He's
guy?
playing on.
Have a good rest of your game, guys.
How do you wish
That's a
that?
4.
What the fuck? now I feel like playing more. Next to me to sever my connection with everything. Is it still makes my blood run cold to remember what I did before?
Match
Mecca. I feel like I know this person. Makes my blood run cold. No, apparently I don't.
Who should I play?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi again. Oh my god. Hi again.
Hello?
How are you?
How about you, Benahana teriyaki?
Sushimi.
Oh, fuck.
What the How are we all?
Good.
Yo, who is Twitch streaming right now? Someone tell me. Because your mics are way
Leon.
too good.
No. What? Just because I have a good mic? What?
Yes.
Says
yes.
you, Gecko.
Just because of that.
Robert Owen's wife. Oh, that's so real.
Not that clear.
That's so real.
My little baby. My little baby.
Ready up. First, we put
So
them under
what's
heels.
what's
Then
your Twitch streams?
put
Come
them
on.
in the ground.
Drop them in the chat.
Gotta go.
Twitch streams. Come on.
Oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
No, bro, your mic would be way too good to just
My
be
bad.
normal
I spent
fucking-
$300 on my mic. You know. My bad. Is that just?
Just what is it? Come on, mate. Let's just quit leaking.
What's my mic? A
We
Rode
gatekeeping
pod,
in the
pod
big
mic.
2.5.
Rode pod
Oh
mic.
no.
No. We gatekeeping in the big 2.5. What's
I'm
the
not
Twitch?
gatekeeping. I don't know what you're talking about.
He is. He is.
Me?
Get the Twitch out of him.
Oh my god.
No, I just don't want to accidentally say some real bad shit, you know? So you just gotta double check. Safety
okay,
first. You know?
Twitch.tv / MacaX_X. That's my Twitch.
Gotta go. What?
Yep.
Reload. Go, go, go.
Why the fuck do I got Spike? You know what? I'm planning right here.
One enemy
They're
remaining.
dead. Go, go, go.
I missed.
Oh.
55.
Really
Gotta
different.
go.
Ooh, good shit.
Nice.
Gotta go.
Wait, so what was it? Macapaka 02?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I know, what is it, oi?
You got it right.
MacaX_X. And
Maca
the X under.
underscore
Yeah,
X.
it kind of looks like a dead face. Kind of cute. I know, I'm such a genius at coming up with
Dead
names.
face. Let's have a look.
Hello.
Hi.
Valorant comp question mark question mark question mark
That's me.
Go, go,
with
go.
a girl.
Yeah, I'm a girl.
No, you're not. Wait. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he is
never mind.
girl.
Wait,
Fucking gecko.
I am actually, I am a girl, but
This way. I'm out of here.
Oh, in the corner.
Oh my god.
Spike down B.
Taken out.
they don't believe that I'm a girl, Chad. Are you bullshitting them?
Player standing.
You got this. Turn black in the low light. They're asking if I streamed because I have a good mic. That's why I just dropped to the something the Twitch of the gecko.
Let's reset. Deep breaths and all that.
Nicely done. Go,
He's
go,
got some
go.
nice vandal skins. Someone.
Oh, good luck. Can I have that?
Getting CC, give me a
I need a
Vandy.
drop.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Salamat. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Okay, buddies, focus up.
Night comes down the
I'm out of here.
hill.
I can't blame you, Neon.
Wait, what?
I can't believe you.
What?
Dizzy's up.
Smart move.
Plant the spike.
What can you blame me for?
Wingman's
Oh my god, I
No
nearly got.
way.
enemy
She'll
remaining.
use an AR.
Spike down.
Oh yeah. Just got dings.
Planted.
Go, go, go.
Last player standing.
Ain't no way we
Hit
lose
40.
it.
Hit 40. Nah, I got look. Damocles.
Knife it. Balls.
Damn.
Hey.
Damn. Just a reminder.
Did you just
that was
chuck
a
your
5-1.
cat? Wait.
Last round before the switch.
I put him
Gotta
in
go.
bed.
Oh my god.
Go, go, go. I'm out of here.
Can I get a drop?
Can I get a drop?
Negative. I'm out of
Meow
here.
meow 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 meow.
Somebody's there.
Meow 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 meow
He was
meow.
blinded. What?
Get us.
Spike down. A.
Gotta go. Barrier deployed.
The hunt begins.
Over there.
My ult's ready.
Bind us.
Gotta go. I got spied.
145, see?
Bye-bye.
One
Nice try.
enemy remaining.
Pop up.
There.
Last main, I think. Yep.
Spike planted.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Go, Reina.
Cutting their vision.
Oh,
Nice.
insane. Insane.
Switching sides. They don't have a
Go, go, go.
life worth saving.
Go, go, go. I'm out of here.
Turn the page once again.
I'm out of here. Go, go, go.
Whoa, Susie.
No, he said that before. No. I was just copying.
Tell him.
He said that.
Oh my gosh.
That's a B. Go, Reina, go. Go, Reina, go. Go, Reina, go.
I'm out of here.
You want my own plan?
Ah, fuck it. Fuck!
104 chat.
Gun here. Reload.
Pretty
Spike
close.
down. B.
Oh my god.
One enemy remaining.
55. Get
Last
it
was
up there.
garden.
Oh yeah,
Enemies
deadlock.
accounted for. Throw
Whoa.
me.
Oh.
Let's keep a good thing going.
I'm out of here. Negative. Bring your
Why
best.
am I alone on B?
Okay, okay.
Stay here on B. Send help.
Go, go, go.
I know what you are.
Gotta go.
You got him.
Oh my god. Of course, of course. Those smokes helped me actually. 10 out of 10 smokes.
KJ was got him.
Last player
Ah, la, 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 la. 65, Jen.
We don't talk about that one. Don't
No, nice try.
We're all blind. We're all blind.
Listen up. Kill them before they kill us. Go, go, go.
Do you guys fuck with Living Tombstone? Wow. Fuck my life then.
Gotta go. Can I get a drop? Thanks. I can use a drop. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
I think I sound sick. I think I sound sickly.
Oh no.
Go, go, go.
76 Reyna, 79 on both.
Spike planted.
No surprises.
I'm bad.
Last player standing.
Oh, blah 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 blah. We don't
Guys,
talk
come
about
on.
it.
Yeah?
We don't talk about it. We don't. Wait.
Okay, okay, we
Match
didn't talk about
point.
Ingat
Okay.
ka. I can get stabbed. Bad way to go.
I know what you are.
it. No,
I know what you are.
no.
Do you fuck with the pistol veal?
I'm out of here.
Huh?
You fuck with? Don't worry about it. What about the Living Tombstone? It's been so long. No.
No.
Gotta go.
Or I want to be Tracer.
Oh,
They're coming,
yeah,
eh?
yeah,
I'm out of here.
yeah. Can you break this wall?
Please.
Spike planted.
Please break.
Get out of my way. Go, go, go.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta go.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have a voice crack.
Good job.
Thank you.
Hey,
Oh.
good stuff, guys.
Thank you.
My aunt's ready. I'm out of here. Here we go.
Oh, that was so bad.
Sudden death.
Combat is a means to an end,
Go, go, go.
and we are the means.
Ran out of mouse space.
Go, go, go. What's up?
Meow.
I'm out of here.
Meow.
Oh my gosh.
Damn, Raze.
I'm out of here.
Oh my god, no. Ow. How did I manage to do that?
Go, go, go.
I'm lagging.
Somebody's there.
Take this.
Enemy B.
Ay, ay, ay,
Last player
ay.
standing. I have 133 on Jet and 120 on Sage somehow.
Spike planted.
No surprise.
Take. Oh.
3 down. Ultimate ready.
Jet is so low.
Oh no, no
Nice
shame.
Jet.
Attackers win.
G frickin' G, guys.
Good luck with the stream, Kaka.
Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. I love geek bars. What the fuck? Ooh, like a. Oh, that's cute. That's a cute spray.
Match found.
Meow. You the follow. Bow, 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 bow.
Forget that.
Oh my god. Chat. No, I was gonna, no. What the fuck? God, I'm so out of it. I don't know why I'm still playing. I don't know why I'm still queuing. I said I was gonna stop. What am I doing? Can't stop the grind. Hello, thank you for the follow. GG's enemy chat, you played really good. GG's.
They think they can walk all over my turf? I've got a grenade.
Oopsie.
Gotta go.
Hope you have a good luck with your next games.
Go, go, go. Gotta go. I'm out of here.
Science.
Gotta go.
Oh my god, why is it lagging?
Gotta go.
A.
I'm out of here. Running low. Grenade. Go, go, go. There. Enemy spotted A.
Multiple enemies
There.
A.
Go, go, reloading.
Spike planted.
I'm out of here. Enemy spotted A. Reloading. Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta go.
Nice.
Go, go, go. Gun here. Gun here.
Flawless.
Go, go. That was clean. Keep it up.
Stay taut as a
I'm out of here.
The fight commencing.
I'm out of here.
Bartholomew.
Gotta go.
Oh! Delta's live.
I'll show them. Lintik kayo.
Kayo.
I'm out of here.
Parasite.
Meow.
Enemy spot take flight.
Okay.
Spike planted. Reloading. Neutralized. Shock dart. Last player standing. Level heads until we're home, yes? Good.
And we left up. What do you have to cut?
I'm out of here.
Oh.
Go, go, go. Gotta go. Go, go, go.
Holy shit.
One enemy remaining.
Watch out. Bomb buddy out.
Team A.
Bruh.
Grenade. I'm out of here.
Last round in the half.
Use everything you have. Go, go, go.
Can.
I'm out of here. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Take out their healer.
Go, go, go.
They will cower.
Gotta go.
The hunt begins. Enemy spotted A.
My territory, my rules. I have them now.
Oh my god.
Spike down A.
My aim is just not aiming today.
One enemy
One
remaining.
down.
Nice.
Last player standing.
40.
Oh my god, you had the easy shot on them. Oh my god, stop trying to show off, please. And that's what happens.
You will not kill my ally.
Switching sides.
I'm out of here.
Enemies close.
Gotta go.
Brother. Meow.
Track them down.
Go, go, go.
Standing ahead.
Reloading. I'm out of here. Bomb buddy out. Go, go, go. Grenade. There.
Enemy spotted me.
Caution here. Reloading. Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my god.
The bigger they are, the harder they
My
are.
brains are working.
Grenade! Okay, I only have like 7 78 grenades left. Hopefully that's enough. Go, go, go! Gotta go!
Gun.
Caution.
Gotta go! Go, go, go! Coming through! I'm out of here! Stock it! I'm out of here!
These.
Spike planted.
Go, go, go!
Enemy spotted me.
Multiple enemies be satchel out.
There. Enemy spotted me.
Got one.
Scanning ahead.
That's 3.
Right here.
One enemy.
Get her!
remaining.
Nice. Last main.
Feeling safe.
Think that's it. Gun here.
Gun here.
Reloading. Match point.
You're up. Gotta go. Stay safe. We're going back. I'm out of here. Nice job.
Oh. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know what to do. Do you want to play Faz?
Shortcut.
Revealing. Deploying drone.
I'll play Faz after stream.
Enemy.
Which is after this game. Oh my god.
Spike down A.
My territory.
My rules.
Last player standing. A.
What do you say, drone? Ready to stretch your wings?
I'm out of here.
Let's play Faz at 3D.
Gotta go.
So take
Go, go, go. I'm out of here. Shortcut. Gotcha. My turn. Dead. That's 3. Stop.
Oh my god.
Hey. Bomb buddy out. There.
Bro, don't say GG's, man. Anyone that says GG's before the end of the game like that. Come on, man. Back it up.
Sudden death.
I surrounded by minha família. We won't lose.
Inspect element button.
There. Gotta go.
That is way too impressive. Please don't tell me things, you're fine.
For you, hermanita.
I'm out of here. Caution here.
One is that. One second.
Go, go, go. Work good.
Oh, we both didn't deserve that. What the fuck?
One enemy remaining.
That's 3. My ult's ready.
Wait, what? How is that 3? Oh wait, true.
Oh, 80.
You will not kill my ally.
One enemy remaining.
4 down.
Attackers win.
It's okay, GG's.
I'm glad it's over.
God damn it. I was waiting out the fucking res as well. Damn it. Oh my god. That's enough for me. Oh my god. Too much Valorant, too much DVD. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, who do we raid? We could raid my wife. My wife. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, we'll raid Halsey. Alright. Thank you for being here, chat. Sorry if it wasn't that of an eventful stream. It's a shame thinking everything here. Alright. Okay. I love you guys. Be safe. Yada yada yada. You guys know. And the stream, yeah, I'm not feeling well. So right. Love yous. Ugh. See so bad I went bald. Bye. Good night.